Do you feel the vibes?
What's up, YouTube? It's Carolina Calvin, and I haven't had the chance to talk about E3, but I want to talk about pretty much everything that's coming up in these press conferences on Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday. I want to talk about everything that's going on, kind of what I expect to see, and of course some of the games I want to see. Now I'm going to give out the schedules because I'm pretty sure they finalized the schedules. You know, we only have a few days left. They finalized the schedules. These are going to be United States and Canada Eastern Standard Time. So, of course, you got to adjust for your time. Sunday, EA is going up first. This is, of course, June 12th at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Now, not a big fan of EA and just some of the business practices that they do. You know, look at the issues with Battlefield 4, some of the issues with Mass Effect 3, and you know they've been voted one of the worst companies at least 2 or 3 times. But I feel as though coming into this E3, they do have some things to show. One, Battlefield 1, of course you saw the trailer, didn't see gameplay. Pretty sure you're going to see gameplay of both campaign and multiplayer. Mass Effect Andromeda, you know, there was a leaked clip of like 10 seconds of gameplay. You're probably going to go a little bit more in depth. Seeing as last year all they showed was a trailer and nothing else, didn't mention anything about it. Probably going to see more with that. They're working on, I believe they said 3 Star Wars games. We'll have to see exactly what those are. We're gonna get an RPG. We're gonna get like a third-person shooter. What exactly are they gonna do? You have, of course, you have all the sports titles, and you have Titanfall 2, which they claim is coming out this year. So, I mean, I don't know how far in development they are, but they claim it's gonna come out this year. And they said like a few weeks before Battlefield 1, which I don't agree with. You shouldn't put 2 big shooters, which Battlefield being the bigger shooter, out around the same time. I was guessing they were gonna wait until next year to bring out, Titanfall 2, but we could see a change. But as of now, this is what they said, and we want to see gameplay. We want to see what they changed. You want to see, they said it's gonna be a campaign. What about more content for the multiplayer? What exactly are they going to be doing differently? And will they keep some of the same things that worked really well with the first Titanfall? While improving on other things. So these are the guys that EA goes up first. Bethesda's the same day at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, which is pretty late for them. Last year, they showed Doom. It looked good. They showed the single player. Even after the game is released, a lot of people like what was going on with the single player. So maybe we'll see some single player DLC, maybe some multiplayer DLC, which a lot of people at this point don't really like the multiplayer. I was fine with the beta. I still haven't gotten the game, but I may go out and get it. Play the single player. I know it's a bit old school, but the game I'm looking forward to most, that's more than likely going to see gameplay for this conference, is Dishonored 2. They showed a trailer last year, but no gameplay. So, getting into E3, we're more than likely going to see gameplay for Dishonored 2. And I'm looking forward to seeing that. You could see some Fallout 4 DLC. The Fallout 4 DLC has not been as good as 3. I would say 3, between Fallout 3, Fallout New Vegas, and of course Fallout 4, had the best DLC in my opinion. Rumors about Prey, Prey 2, which I remember playing the first Prey on 360, early in the 360's life cycle. I really thought this game was dead, and I'm pretty sure they announced that it was dead. So, obviously just rumors. Maybe we'll see something. And they're talking about Skyrim remaster, Evil Within, which is a good horror game. Wolfenstein, hearing rumors about that. Maybe. And I was referring to the Evil Within 2. So they may not hit off as big. You probably won't see a new Elder Scrolls game. It's way too early. Fallout 4 is still coming out with DLC, so you probably won't hear nothing about that. So we'll have to see if they show something that's gonna be a surprise. Next we have, of course, this is Monday, June 13th, 12:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We have Microsoft Crackdown 3, which is supposed to have its multiplayer come out this summer. I don't know exactly what they're doing with that. Did they get that? I'm pretty sure they got pushed back. Gears 4, which they came out with a beta for, didn't play it. More than likely, they're just gonna focus solely on single player. I'm gonna leave out the VR stuff, for both Microsoft and Sony, because you know what's gonna happen. HoloLens for Microsoft and whatever. A lot of people don't care about that, and a lot of people just care about the games. You just want to hear about the damn games. Scalebound, which was what they showed. They showed it last year. Didn't run too well, so hopefully they have a more polished version coming out. We do know that it's gonna release next year, but out of all the games that I guess they could possibly show, this one seems the most interesting. You also have probably another State of Decay 2. Hopefully, it can have co-op. Of course, this is a rumor. They're probably going to talk about backwards compatibility, more PC, more Xbox One and Windows 10 integration. Also, the Xbox One Slim, and of course the Scorpio, which they may talk about, and just I guess some of the specs or whatever. Also been hearing rumors about Dead Rising 4. I'm sorry. Dead Rising 3 was okay, but maybe we'll see a little bit more Dead Rising 4. And we also have Recore, which I don't have really much to say because they haven't shown any gameplay. So, hope we better get some gameplay. I'm not gonna say hope. We better get some gameplay. If they plan on showing it, don't want to see any CG trailers. You want to see gameplay. Next, we have, of course, Monday, June 13th, 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You have Ubisoft. Now, Ubisoft already showed Watch Dogs 2. I believe a couple days ago, they showed Watch Dogs 2. Looks, the main protagonist is black. He's working with more so of like a team of hackers and whatnot. You kind of saw, what they were doing. Parkour mechanics. So, this game could definitely be different. It takes place in San Francisco. So maybe they'll show a little bit more. And they are showing some gameplay for Watch Dogs 2, which I'm actually surprised. I thought this was just going to show like a trailer that it will get announced and you see some gameplay at E3. South Park, which they announced last year. The first South Park Stick of Truth actually did quite well. So kind of expect this one to do good as well. You also have Ghost Recon Wildlands, which they showed last year. Maybe you get some more in-depth gameplay. Will have a multiplayer. We don't know. We also have For Honor, which is kind of like the sword fighting game. It reminds me a lot of like Chivalry. If you ever played that, that's on PC. Of course, I believe it's on it's on Xbox One and PS4, which I haven't really seen too many people play it on there. I remember playing it on PC. Well, I guess we'll see more so with that, more game modes. We'll have like a campaign. Won't get Assassin's Creed, thank fucking God. With Unity, they really hurt the Assassin's Creed franchise. And the last Assassin's Creed was more polished, but because of the complete disaster that was Unity, I guess that they just want to take a break and really, I guess, come up with some more ideas with Assassin's Creed. So that pretty much does it for Ubisoft. Next, you have Sony, which is Monday, June 13th at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Get out the way. Of course, they're going to talk about the PS4 4.5, Neo, whatever you want to call it. VR, whatever. God of War 4 has been rumored like crazy. Talking about maybe Norse. Horizon is a big game that they've definitely been showing, but they're probably really going to hit the hype with this one. Final Fantasy VII Remake, Shenmue. And they also been working on a Spider-Man game. And a lot of it, pretty much anything else has been, to me, question marks in terms of something I do want to see. So maybe they'll get some surprises. A lot of people want a Crash Bandicoot. At this point, I just don't think it's gonna happen. But it'll be a good thing if it does. Let me see. Anything else with Sony? Also Gran Turismo, which I'm not a fan of, but that was something I did want to mention because I know it's a really big title with Sony. It's one of their highest selling franchises, and a lot of people don't even know that. Other than that, really not much else to say in terms of, it was really hard to speculate on. I forgot to mention, you got games like Persona 5, you got games like Nier, the game Nioh, which is like made by the guys that made Ninja Gaiden, and it has like a Dark Souls type feel. They had like a demo to it. Very difficult game. Probably get a release date. Probably get a release date on that. And nothing else I can really speculate on. I really don't get deep into the rumors. So if there are rumors about anything going on with any of these conferences, I guess you just let me know. They're just rumors. Some of them could possibly be true. Some of them are not. Next, we have Nintendo. Fucking Nintendo. Their little live stream, whatever they do, is Tuesday, June 14th, 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Okay, coming into this E3 about a month back, Nintendo announced that Zelda's going to be the only playable game. Now, that doesn't mean they're not going to show nothing in their live streams. But Nintendo last year was terrible in terms of just what they showed in their live stream. They got a new console coming out with the NX. We still aren't very sure on the specs or if it'll even be shown. Which Nintendo is, they're well known for ducking E3 in terms of of an announcement of something and leaving it up to one of their random Nintendo Directs, which only Nintendo fans watch. Let's be honest, fans of Nintendo or people that's mildly interested, which is at this point in terms of the consoles, not a lot of people. Now they got the Pokemon games. They're gonna focus on the handhelds, which they probably have a lot to show. You got the Pokemon games, which I don't care about. I haven't played the Pokemon games in forever. You have Zelda, which I'm interested in. What would really get me hype is a Metroid game. I think that's the only thing that would get me hype is a Metroid game. But with the announcement of Federation Force, you can tell that they don't care about the fans of the Metroid series. And let's look at the Wii U and just how Nintendo handled pretty much the Wii U. Star Fox, I believe, came out, I want to say April. Zelda got pushed back until next year, March, to coincide with the release of the NX. So it can release on the NX and the Wii U. From April up until March, they have nothing in terms of big time releases. They already don't get third party support, so you can't expect third party support. Think about that for a second. As I own a Wii U, of course, you've seen my video. As a Wii U owner, you don't have anything to play outside of of course I said Star Fox came out. You don't have really anything to play, and Nintendo doesn't seem too confident coming into this, coming into E3. It's completely ridiculous how they're handling, the release of of course they've been very quiet. They've been waiting to show anything about the NX, but it's been completely ridiculous how they've shown the Nintendo Wii U and how it's really going out. And you got guys coming out saying that the NX isn't a replacement to the Wii U. Then why aren't you releasing any games on the Wii U? Why is Zelda getting pushed back to go to the NX? To coincide with the release of the NX. Why? Where's the Shin Megami game, which at this point I don't even care about it? Where are, hopefully we get a Metro announcement. But where anything else? What else do you have to show for your Wii U? It's essentially dead. After Star Fox, it's dead. Let's just be honest. And at this point, I don't give a shit about any Nintendo consoles. I don't play the handheld. I don't get the handhelds. Last handheld I had was the original DS. That was the last Nintendo handheld I had. I didn't get any of the other 100 editions of the DS. I didn't get the 3DS. I didn't get the new 3DS, the 2DS, or whatever. I didn't get none of that shit. I'm done with the Nintendo consoles until they can show me that they can get a constant release. And at this point, no third-party support, which they will never get. Probably won't get one. You know, even the Smash Brother game, I'll be like, I don't need it. And at this point, I won't get it. I mean, I'm a big fan of Smash Brothers, but look at what Nintendo's doing. And they expect you to drop 200, 250 on a new platform, and they release good. They release good games. You know, your Bayonetta 2, your Xenoblade Chronicles. Then they have huge droughts, months upon months upon months of nothing, no games, and you know, I guess they expect you to be held over with some of these games. Which, in fairness, yeah, some of them can hold you over. But what about someone who didn't like that type of game? What were your other releases? Where are some of your franchises that are sitting in a dusty warehouse not doing anything? Where's your Earthbound or, as I said, Metroid? Where's your F-Zero? Where are these games? You have a bunch of first party IPs that you're not using, that you honestly need to use because you don't have third party support. But I think I'm done talking about it. Let me know in the comment section what conference are you looking forward to the most? What games are you looking forward to the most? And before I finish, Square Enix didn't have a conference, but of course, biggest game for them that I want to see. Of course, they got Final Fantasy VII. Deus Ex: Mankind Divided is the game I probably want to see the most from them. And will Kingdom Hearts 3 get a release date? Also, another disclaimer. Sorry, I said it in the video. Sony, will we get a Last Guardian release date? At this point, I really don't care about the game. But will the game finally get a release date? Sick of hearing people talk about it. And I'm sick of you talking about it at your conference. Like I said, let me know what you think down in the comment section. If you like this video, hit the thumbs up button and subscribe. Thanks for watching.